Hey guys, Sandro here from Carcraft Auto Detailing in Melbourne. Today's video is a look at the differences between certain paint polishing machines out there on the market, including rotary polishers and both force rotation and free spinning dual action polishers. And since the particular machines I'm using in this video are all flex tools, I'll also be briefly discussing their more specific characteristics. Now, apart from obviously wanting to correct the defects out of automotive paint, when it comes to choosing which polisher is going to best suit your needs, it really comes down to what you more specifically intend on using it for and what level of quality you're looking to achieve. And perhaps most important of all is your skill level, or how much time you're willing to invest in learning how to use these machines to the best of their capabilities. So there really is no right or best machine polisher to cover every single situation, but there might be the best or right machine here to address your particular needs. So I want to go through these three different polishers, looking at how they mechanically work, discussing their advantages and disadvantages, and how I particularly view and use them in my paint correction process. So let's start with the Rotary, which is the first polisher I ever used, and more specifically the Flex 14-2 which is the Rotary I mostly use at the moment. Now, once upon a time, almost all Rotary polishers were large, heavy and noisy machines that really took a toll on your body. But a polisher like this Flex shows that Rotaries can be smaller, lighter and quieter without compromising their performance or power. So the best way to look at this Flex is that it uses smarter technology to create its powerful torque, an ingenious cooling system to limit its heat, and a level of German engineering to make it run so smooth and quiet, with a build quality that is really second to none. And when you add up all these qualities, it equals a very impressive rotary polisher that is also quite reasonably priced, can take a beating, and most importantly is just so much more pleasant to use. But in general, the Rotary is by far the most simple mechanically engineered polisher of the three. It uses a gear-driven single spinning axis similar to how your household drill works, but it adapts that setup to best address automotive paint with a longer, easier to control dual handheld machine with enough torque to keep even the largest of pads continuously spinning on the surface of the paint with quite a bit of pressure applied. They generally have adjustable speeds anywhere from as little as 300 revolutions per minute to a monstrous 3000 RPM, which is also why they're referred to as high-speed polishers. So the benefits to Rotaries compared to dual action polishers is again their more simple mechanical design, which means less can go wrong and they do tend to last longer with less maintenance or repairs required. And for that same reason, unless you use them at top speed, they do tend to be quieter than DA polishers, and once you get a hang of them, they'll also be smoother with less vibration. But a lot of that really does depend on the particular brand of rotary and dual action polisher themselves, as many run louder with more vibration than others. Another benefit is the standard M14 thread size used for most of the world and the M16 thread size for America. This means that any backing plate or attachment with that thread will fit. Whereas with dual action polishers today, it seems every manufacturer is now making their own unique thread fitments. So you do become limited in just having to stick with the backing plates and accessories offered by your particular brand of DA polisher. My personal favourite feature of Rotaries is the versatility of the different size backing plates and pads that can be interchanged with ease and without issue on a single polisher. Whereas with most DA polishers in general, you can't simply change the backing plate size without throwing the machine off balance. And even if you do, it's a much harder and time-consuming process that requires a tool and basically means in real terms that you do need 2 or 3 dual action polishers to utilize the same amount of large, medium and small pads that a single rotary polisher can use. Next is the extension bars that can be fitted with smaller pads to allow you to access certain tighter areas that most dual action polishers just can't reach. These are great and handy accessories that just won't work well on DA polishers due to their twin motions, which would make them increasingly harder to control. This then leads to the precision that rotary polishers have and dual action polishers lack. You can get really close up to an edge or tight area with a rotary, and with a little practice you can correct the paint without hitting or knocking adjacent panels and trims. Whereas due to the offset motion of dual action polishers, where it creates oscillating spins, you just can't keep it as straight and true as a single action rotary, which becomes even harder on the larger 15 and 21mm throw DAs. And the fact that DA polishers tend to store their rotation around these areas means that force spinning rotary polishers will continue to spin and correct the paint no matter what area of the panel it comes in contact with. But when you really get down to it, the main reason rotaries are still going strong even after the introduction of dual action polishers is their quick cutting or leveling ability. Now, I know many people seem to achieve the same cut from a large throw dual action polisher as they do from a rotary, and with all things equal, this can be true. But the thing about rotaries is that once you learn the basic rules, you can then learn to tweak your technique to get a lot more correction out of them that is just beyond what a DA polisher can do. I don't want to go too much into it here, as I hope to do a separate video on rotary polishing techniques. But the main difference is that the user with a rotary in their hands has a lot more options and influence on the results than a user with a DA polisher in theirs. So let's now have a quick look at the potential disadvantages of rotary polishers compared to DAs. First and foremost is a learning curve. It quite simply takes a lot more practice to get the hang of a rotary compared to a dual action polisher. I do still remember the first time I used the rotary, which felt like trying to tame a beast or working with a machine that seemed to have a mind of its own. But quite honestly, even after a day of using it, I already began to understand the basics of what I was doing wrong and how to rectify it, though it did take a lot more time until I became comfortable with it. Now compare that with my first experience with a dual action polisher, and it couldn't have been more different. It was easy to control, it went where I pointed it, and I could even relax my concentration without any real consequences. Secondly is the increased risk of damaging or burning through the paint. Rotaries will in general generate more heat on the actual paint compared to DAs, and excessive heat and clear coated paint just don't go down well and is perhaps the greatest issue to resolve. The other increased risk comes about due to the forced rotation that won't store the rotary's action around more sensitive and high risk areas such as panel creases and edges that tend to store the spinning action of most non-gear driven DA polishers, which again makes them a lot safer, especially for beginners. Also worth a mention is microfiber pads. They basically just don't work well on rotaries. You'll find that they are just too grippy, and even just tilting the rotary to the slightest angle will make it extremely difficult to control. The other issue with them is heat. Although microfiber is a fantastic and efficient material to polish with, it does generate much more heat than foam or wool pads that just becomes an increasingly liable issue on rotary polishers, and it also leads to the pad's rapid deterioration. Another important difference in my opinion is the ease and quality of finish that can be achieved with DA polishers as opposed to rotaries. Now, that doesn't mean you can't finish down well on a rotary without holograms or micro-marring. It just means that it's a little harder to achieve and that you become a little more limited to extremely fine polishers and soft foam pads, together with very slow machine speeds and a good technique to get that perfect finish with a rotary. Whereas with dual action polishers, it's much easier and you have more options in your products and pad choice when finishing down paint in the last step. Now, although rotaries can be a real time saver in leveling out or removing defects, one place where they just can't compete with dual action machines is in one-step polishing. It's just virtually impossible to effectively cut and finish paint in one step with one pad and one compound using a rotary polisher. But in general, you do need 2 or 3 stages with a rotary to get the best cut and finish, which is hugely dependent on the product and pad selection. Whereas something like a microfiber pad or light cutting foam pad on a dual action polisher can both cut and finish to a high level in just one step on so many paint types. So with all that said and done, where do rotary polishers fit in the world of paint correction today? That's really going to vary depending on the individual and the work at hand. For some professionals, such as body shop painters, it may be the only polisher they use, as it best suits their needs and addresses the level of paint correction they're looking to achieve quickly and efficiently. For other detailers, especially many just starting out or just weekend enthusiasts, they may never use a rotary at all, as they are achieving the results they're happy with by using dual action polishers alone. And quite honestly, neither or either is right or wrong, as if the path or machine choice you're using is addressing your needs, then ultimately that's what really matters. Now for me personally, and I'm sure many others as well, I do still use a combination of both rotary and dual action polishers. But more specifically, I tend to use my rotary for the initial heavier cutting stage of paint correction or to refine previous standing marks quickly and effectively. I also tend to use it with wool pads, as they are still not only the heaviest cutting material, but also the coolest running pads that work best in my circumstances to provide the quickest, safest and most efficient cut when the paint requires it. And although you can certainly use wool pads with DA polishers, I honestly think you're better off using microfiber, as wool just doesn't seem to work anywhere near as well on DAs as it does on rotary polishers. The other thing is the force rotation action of the rotary that lets you address the defects or scratches in those tighter curves and crevices that will limit correction and stall most larger DA polishers. But on the other side of the scale, believe it or not, a rotary used at its slower speed with a very fine polish and soft pad can actually produce the finest paint jeweling finish out there. So like I said earlier, the user with a rotary in their hands has a lot more influence on the finish than a user with a dual action polisher in theirs. But you do need to invest more time in a rotary to get to that stage of achieving amazing results, as opposed to a DA polisher, which is much more forgiving in general. So I hope this first part of rotary machine polishers and the Flex 14-2150 was helpful in addressing some questions you may have had about them. Part 2 will be looking at the Flex 3401 VRG Force Rotation Polisher and hopefully be providing some more insights about it. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe to show your support for this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.